Thank you for sharing your afternoon with us here on So Janelle, So Hollywood feature on our fellow Filipino nominated for an Oscar happening this afternoon, actually. Congratulations again. Talking about One Small Step, I'm curious as to the choice of the female lead. She is a female of an Asian American descent. How deliberate was that choice?
Very deliberate. I think we wanted to tell the story about someone who overcame all of the odds. So not only a female becoming an astronaut, but also like a female of Asian descent becoming an astronaut. You couldn't imagine what that challenge must have been like. And through her persistence and sort of drive, she made that dream come true. And so I think we're just trying to stack the odds against her, but she did it anyway. And that all sort of relates to how I can relate to it. My mom, she kind of came from the Philippines, joined the U.S. Navy, and then came to this country at a very young age. And that couldn't have been easy as well. I mean, I remember my mom telling me stories about how she didn't even want to answer the phone because she didn't think that anyone would understand what she was saying. And so 20 years in, she just kind of fought to start a new life in the U.S., in the States.
Her relationship with her dad
Yeah.
reflects your relationship with your mom.
Right.
Is that right?
You kind of realize that you guys are all that you have, and you sort of take that for granted sometimes, of like when you're sort of chasing after a dream or chasing after a profession, and you start to neglect the relationship that you have with your mom or your dad. I think like a big part of the short film is like, well, hey, you know, I know I wasn't the best son growing up, but thank you for always being there. And she was. It's not often that an Asian parent would encourage their Asian son to be an artist, because they all want us to, you know, find a profession that isn't so risky, you know. But she was my biggest fan, and I don't take that for granted. In the end, it's just kind of a love letter to just say thanks. Thank you for being there.
The story is almost like a love letter to your mom in picture form, in animated short form. What about in words? If you were to use words, and she's there right now watching, she can see this, what would you tell her?
I would just say, I would just say, I hope you're proud, and I hope that I made you feel, I hope you feel like you were a great parent to me, because you were. I mean, I remember, because she was in the Navy, and I was like, I'm gonna do that too, because you got like housing, you got everything else, and your life is set. And she's like, no, I don't think so. You can draw, you should do something with that. And she sort of like steered me off of she didn't want me to necessarily do what she wanted to do in her life, but she wanted me to do what like I felt like passionate about, which is kind of crazy.
So how did you tell your mom about the nomination?
Oh, I woke up, me and my girlfriend like woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, because it's so early, I don't know why. But like when they said One Small Step, I just like screamed top of my lungs and just like jumped up and like slammed into the door and probably like woke up all of my neighbors. And I called my co-directors and just sort of like cried to them. I was screaming and crying, so it was a roller coaster of mixed emotions. And then I called my mom, and then I was just like crying at her, and she was like, "Did you get it?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom," you know. So I think it's like excitement. The tears only came from just because like how hard we worked, you know. When you finally accomplish something and how hard it was, you just sort of recognize that. So.
You know, you're very lucky, because not very many,
lucky.
Especially Filipino parents, would support a career like that, a career path like that. What would be your advice to animators, whether struggling with something like that or they get the support of their parents, but they're at a loss, they don't know where to go, getting rejected? What would be the advice?
I think my number one advice would be to tell your story, and to tell an honest story about where you came from, because people are going to ask you, Like whatever film or story you make, they're going to ask you, how did it connect with you? But I think the most important thing is to tell your experience, you know, upbringing, people that you met in your life, your dreams, your goals. That's the freshest thing that you can bring into the world, and it'll make a difference only because it was from you.
So with that said, who do you think should win?
I mean, I hope we do. I think we have a good chance. I really, really like Weekends, and I really, really like Bao. And I've met them all, and we're all friends, and we see each other all the time, and there's no competition, malice between us at this point because it's not up to us. We're not voting, you know.
But if you win the Oscar, what would be your first move? What would be the first thing you do?
Thank my mom, call my mom, and just call my team, call my family, and just kind of thank them for all of the support that they gave us along the way.
Well, God bless you as you continue your journey, and
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thank you so much.